Hey everybody, this is Perch. Uh, the Infinity Warps was this concept that spun out of the Infinity War comic that was seemed to be kind of rushed out by Marvel to have something on the shelves that vaguely had something to do with the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gems from the movies, but really had nothing to do with anything. I mean, Gamora was killed Thanos, and I mean, like that was a very missable event. If you blinked, you missed it, and that's generally how the sales were for that event as well. I mean, keep in mind, I think this was 2000. Was this 18 or 19? I think it was 19. Where I know the Infinity Warps are in 19 because I'm doing the analysis of 19, and there were a bunch of new number one issues as a result of those. I'm like, good God, what happened this month? It's like, oh, there are a bunch of Infinity Warps and War of the Realms tie-in issues. It's a banner month for number ones. Anyway, uh, this why I say all this? Well, we're getting Heroes Reborn, and you might say, hey, what does Heroes Reborn have to do with mashups of characters? And it's like, well, as you probably have seen now, if you were on the Friday stream or you've seen some of the art, the Infinity, sorry, it all merges, it's mashing up in my own brain. Heroes Reborn is a lot of, we've got like Doctor Doom has got Juggernaut powers, and I can't tell if it's Jean Grey or the Scarlet Witch is merged up with something. I don't know. None of this looks that inspiring, to be honest. And that's generally the reaction. I mean, you look online, people are not buzzing about this. Most people are not buzzing. There's a handful of people on Twitter who I have to assume that they're doing. They're just hoping that somebody in the publisher will notice them and go, "Hey, thanks for the compliment. I'll retweet your tweet," and then they'll get 20 likes instead of 2 likes, and that will make their week. I don't mean to diminish that. I don't know if any of you listening care about that kind of stuff. I don't. I absolutely don't, and I don't get it. But anyway, the Heroes Reborn is not apparently, or I mean, it's the 25th anniversary of the Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee experiment that happened in 1996, where the Avengers were shuffled off into a parallel dimension, and then we got different takes on things. Fine, but we're going to revisit it again because it's 2021. We need to do some kind of event. I'm going to find out like the brain trust behind this is the brain trust behind Iron Man 2020, and then it's just going to all make sense. It's just that has to be where this whole thing winds up. But the question is, why would the company do this? I mean, by all accounts, when you look at it, when you look at what it's offering, what the series, you see the promo art. We got like Carlos Pacquiao there doing some art. He's a good artist, does good stuff. Avengers Forever was pretty awesome, and I not my favorite artist, but definitely solid work. I like to see him on things. I like to see more of him on things. And I look at this stuff. It's like, well, okay, this isn't any good, and this is as good as it's going to be. Because the funny part is, Pacquiao is most likely just doing the promo art. Is not actually going to do any of the art for the actual comic. So like this is the best we're going to get out of all this, and everybody has to know that nobody is excited for this. I mean, the idea that anybody would be excited about just Heroes Reborn itself is probably pretty low, unless along with that announcement is like, yeah, and somehow we've got Jim Lee out of DC, and Rob Liefeld's going to come to it, and we're truly going to revisit that era. Or you flip over and you say, hey, Mark Silvestri and different Image guys, Eric Larson this time. The two of them are going to be doing it, and so it's keeping with the theme of the Image guys coming back. Unless you're bringing some real talent on there, the idea that Heroes Reborn and revisiting that, particularly when they did revisit it, like in 2006, like 15 years ago, I think they did revisit this already. So that wasn't me. That 15 years ago. It's less than that. 12 years ago. I don't know. Time flies when you're in a pandemic. It like nobody's going to care, and Marvel knows this. Like I highly doubt, unless they are super high there in the old Marvel offices all the time. Everybody's aware that this event is not going to do much. I mean, even though, like as I've told you, I keep hearing time and time again, people are not looking at the numbers. Nobody at Marvel is under the crazy impression that this is going to be a million selling comic copy. But frankly, hopefully nobody's under the impression this is going to be a 50,000 selling comic, or I maybe they're going to be lucky if it's over 30. So why do they do it? Is there nobody? Is there just nobody at Marvel who's like, hey, bro, no, this is a bad idea. Don't do this. Don't do this, bro. Does that person not exist? I mean, is everybody scared to say what's going on, or are they trapped in some kind of bubble and nobody wants to hear it? No, I think everybody knows this. And I got a bunch of emails like, why would Marvel do this? Why would they put this out? This isn't, you see the promo art, you see the mashup stuff, you see like the Infinity Warps didn't sell. Nobody was interested in that. The number one issues that didn't crack 25,000. That's dead on arrival. So why go back to that well 2 years later, like less than 2 years later? Like why would you do this? Uh, the answer is because they're playing a volume game. I think we ought to all kind of look at this with fresh eyes and say, no, this is not any kind of crazy belief that these comics are going to sell huge numbers. This is a belief that we need to publish 80 to 100 comics a month. And if we do that, that's our lineup, that's our model. And hell, there might not even be a business strategy behind it. There may just be some people within editorial or, saying, well, we have to publish 80 comics. Why? Because we have to. But why? Because that's what we do. We publish 80 of them. I don't, what do you mean? What do you mean? Why? That's what we do. And so faced with shrinking likely budgets and other things, we've turned to how do we maximize that dollar? And it's like, I know people like it when the characters get merged together. Let's do that. And here we have the comic. That's the simplest answer. This isn't, when you look at something like Heroes Reborn, I saw somebody say, no, this is a way for Marvel to bury the legacy of Heroes Reborn from when comics were awesome because they're commies, and this is all an SJW way to erase what was good about the past. And to that I say, Heroes Reborn was not good. Like, that would be a dumb plan. And it doesn't work that way. You don't come out with something new and then everybody immediately forgets what came before it. You're trying to hook on nostalgia. That's how nostalgia works. Everybody, you don't just replace all this stuff. When Cobra Kai comes out, people do not forget that Karate Kid was a thing that existed. Now, your more recent memory is Cobra Kai because you watched it more recently, but it does not magically erase the Karate Kid. This isn't some big political social engineering plot. This is about frankly, much simpler and dumber things. I would be way more impressed if the publisher was doing this for political social engineering stuff. I would be like, okay, you had some next level thinking. Still going to fail, but all right, you guys have a strategy. You're executing something. I mean, good for you. But no, we've got 80 comics that need to come out. Let's tell a story. What's good? Let's do some things that are wacky. And here we are. That's what you're getting. And chances are these are largely done on the cheap. They're hoping for kind of a burst of people who are like, I've always wanted to see what happens when Captain America and the Thing were kind of one person and what that would be like. And fine. And I'm like, why don't you just launch What If and be done with it? Like just go with What If, ongoing series. You can do whatever wacky concept you want in that book. Isn't it weird to you, by the way, for Marvel in particular, that they keep flirting with all these, here's something from another reality or something, another dimension, and how crazy would it be if Luke Cage's daughter was Captain America and all? And it's like, just launch What If. You had this book, it sold okay. Just do that. Like, why are you launching all these one-off random things that the retailers increasingly just ignore? It's a strange decision. And I guess that's the whole point of all of this are strange decisions. These are not good decisions. These are weird decisions. And to be clear, the people making these decisions, I'm sure, fine, wonderful people. I don't know who exactly came up with the Heroes Reborn genius idea, but I've talked to enough people at Marvel to say I would happily buy them a drink again. They're nice people. I've had wonderful conversations with many of them. That's a crazy thing about social media. I am blocked by all kinds of people who I've had lovely times with, just very wonderful times with. They're nice people. Why do they choose to do this on social media? Who knows? But for a lot of you, you customers and fans, your only insight into these creators are through social media. So I get you. I get why you have this belief that the people are a bunch of kind of rampaging assholes, because that is how they behave on social media. But in reality, a lot of these people are very nice people, very fine, normal people. You'd have a great time with them. So I don't think any of the people here are terrible, wrong, bad, awful people. Nothing like that. But still, despite that, very strange decisions are getting made. Why? I cannot begin to tell you anymore. Other than the simple, there's a belief that they have to keep publishing comics at a certain volume to protect their quote unquote space or whatever they're trying to do. They believe that that's their strategy and they need to stick to it. And yeah, and they don't have a lot of money, so it's publish as many comics as you can, at least 80, as cheaply as you can, and don't worry about tomorrow. I mean, a lot of people have this belief in a job. I have friends in other industries, and this is a growing problem where many people are not thinking about the consequences of anything beyond 1 week. It's a lot of very short-term thinking. And it's like, if we just get the comics out and they just go out the door, then we've done our job. Success, high five. It's like, well, but these comics don't sell. It's like, we're not worrying about that. We're worrying about the next month of 80 comics. There's no time to worry about if they've actually sold or not. We got to get those books out the door, man. Come on, pick up the pace, get those books out. Because I guess I just want to either reassure or horrify you, depending on your point of view, that nobody is sitting around the offices of Marvel going, this is going to be the killer, best-selling, most amazing idea. Heroes Reborn with mashups of characters. Doctor Doom combined with the Juggernaut is absolutely what is going to make us rich. Nobody is thinking that. So, sleep well at night. Nobody is making that. Nobody's doing that. Unfortunately, that just means we're shoving a bunch of books out the door, which, I don't know. I say all this, and maybe these books will be awesome. I don't know. I always hope so. I'm open to it. I went through all of Iron Man 2020, and I kept hoping that it would be. It's going to happen. Issue 4. It's going to turn it all around. This thing's going to be amazing. Our stakes are going to get raised. It's going to be great. All right, issue 5. It's going to happen in issue 5. Nope. Okay, issue 6. Surely, issue 6. We'll bring it home at the end. It will all be worth it. Sometimes, the comic just comes out and then we move on. I'm glad there was that delay in the middle, where the things got shut down, and the comics, there weren't. So I was reading Iron Man 20. If I had to read that every month, it would have cracked me. I mean, guaranteed. The fact that I at least had like a 4-month breather in the middle of it, that probably saved the day. Anyway, hey, what do you think? Secret Wars. Am I being too hard on it? Secret Wars. What am I talking about? See, this is a problem with all the events. Not Secret Wars. Heroes Reborn. Again. That was not a Freudian slip. Yeah, that probably sums this whole thing up more than anything else. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe. You can see where to contact me in the description to the video. I should put an Easter egg in there and just put my phone number in there one day for one description and be like, if you find it, I won't do that. No, don't go looking. It's not there. Thanks for listening.